Hi guys, welcome to Code Debugger. In previous video we have covered how to integrate Hibernate with Spring or Spring ORM concept. In this video we are going to cover what is Spring transaction and how to implement that in Spring application. Okay, so what is transaction? Transaction means either commit or rollback, either do or die. Like whenever we are doing any transaction, if the transaction is successful, then try to commit that into database, or else if any error will occur, we will roll back the transaction. So there are multiple APIs or libraries are available in Java which is supporting the transaction, but Spring is providing the abstract layer on top of that. Let's say there are different libraries or APIs are there, like JDBC is there, JTA is there, Hibernate is there, JPA is there, or MyBatis is there. Okay, Spring is the abstraction layer on top of all. So whenever, suppose today we are using JDBC or tomorrow you will use JTA or Hibernate, in our code we no need to do any changes. The same piece of code will work for any persistency technology or framework. Okay, so this is the advantages of Spring transaction.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss any update from the Code Debugger.
Okay, so let's say in our example we will take appointment table and patient table will be there. Suppose whenever any patient will go to any medical reception, then he has to fill up a form, right? So what they are doing in reception, they are entering in their application, then that application will store the data inside a appointment table and patient table. Whenever he will store the data in patient table, then one patient number will get generated. That patient number he will store in appointment table. What will happen if at the time of saving of the appointment any exception will occur? Then the whole transaction should roll back, right? So in that case, how we can implement in normal JDBC program? Let's see some snippet of code. So what we'll do in JDBC code, first we'll load the driver, create the connection, then the connection.set auto commit we need to do the false. Okay, so that automatically Java will not do the commit. So the commit or rollback will be there in programmer's hand. Okay, he will have the control on that. So after that we'll create the statement, after that insert the data into patient table, after that insert the data into appointment table. Then if everything goes well, then we will commit the code into database. Or else suppose any exception will occur in between the try block, then automatically that will come to catch block. In catch block we are rollbacking the transaction and we are closing the connection. Okay, so like this way we are doing the transaction in JDBC. So let's see how we can implement the Spring transaction in Spring Boot application. Okay, so let's start. So let's go with as usual with Spring Initializer. So in Spring Initializer we will select the Maven project, Java language, Spring Boot version 2.3.3. The group ID will be com.transaction txn. Okay, so artifact will be Spring transaction demo. Okay, so let's select the jar version, Java 8 version, and we need to add the dependency like web. Then we need to add the JPA, MySQL driver, then Lombok. Let's generate the project. So let's import this into IntelliJ. Yeah, Maven structure is ready now. Let's create the entity class. So we'll annotate this with @entity. Okay, @setter getter. Okay, so patient number, name, gender, mobile, and age. These are the 5 fields we have added in patient. So let me add the @ID here. The strategy is equal to auto will. Okay, that's it. Let me create another the appointment. So in appointment we will have appointment number, the appointment date, then the doctor number, patient number. Okay, so these are the 4 fields we need in appointment. So let me create the repositories also. So we'll use the JPA repositories. So repo, the package name will be repo, and here we will create 2 repositories, like one is for patient and another one is for appointment. Yeah, appointment repository is also ready. So let's create the controller. Okay, so book appointment controller. Okay, so let's annotate this with the rest controller. So let's write method like public. Let's say it will return one string, then book appointment. So book appointment will take one appointment form, right? Then it will return the string like appointment booked successfully with something number, it will return, right? So let me create a DTO for that. Appointment form DTO. The appointment form will have these are the 4 fields. So let me copy these 4 and we will paste here. Okay, so let's annotate this with @getter @setter. That's it. Let's go to the controller. Here we will pass appointment form. This will pass as a request body. Okay, we will annotate this with post mapping. Then the URL will be /book. Okay, then what we will do now, we will create a service layer. Let me create a service package. In service package we will create book appointment service. Okay, so let's annotate this with service. So in service we will have the same method, like it will take a form as a input and it will return the string. Okay, so what we will do here, we will inject both the repositories like appointment repository and patient repository. Okay, we injected 2 different repositories. Now what we will do, we will do the save operation here. We are getting the appointment form DTO as a input, but we want to store patient, right? So let's create a patient. We'll store the patient first as per the diagram. If you see in the appointment, whatever name is there, inside the patient also we are having the same type of name, right? So we can use a shortcut like object mapper we can use, and we can copy the data from the appointment form DTO to patient. Okay, so after that what we will do, we will save that patient into the database, right? Let's say patient repo.save of patient. Okay, so we need the ID of the patient, right? So if you see, the save method is returning whatever we are passing as the input, it is returning the same, right? If you see, whatever we are passing, it is returning the same. That means to get the ID of the patient, we need to call the get patient number, right? So it will return long patient number. Let's say patient saved successfully and it is returning one patient number to us. Let me write one sysout here. Patient saved successfully. Okay. After that, what we will do, we will get the patient number and we will store that into appointment, right? So appointment is ready. Okay, so we'll store the appointment now. Let's say appointment repo dot save of appointment will save. But now we need to return the ID of the appointment. So let's store that into the variable appointment number. Then we need to get the appointment dot get appointment number. This appointment number will return like appointment booked successfully. Appointment number will send. Okay, that's it. Let me call this one inside the controller. So @AutoWord, we will call the book appointment service directly and we will return whatever it is returning. Okay, now everything is ready. Appointment repository, this is patient repository, this is service. Here you are storing the data and returning to the controller. Okay, so let's start the server and we'll see whether we are able to store the data or not. So here we'll use the MySQL. So I have the live template for that. Okay, so let's start the server now. Yeah, server started on 8080 port, and if you see the table created, appointment table, patient table created. Okay, So let's go to the postman and we'll send the request. Localhost 8080 should be post request, and then book, right? Then body, we'll select the raw data, then JSON format we'll select. Okay, in JSON you need to pass let me send the request. If you see here, appointment booked successfully with 2. Okay, let's go to the database and we'll see whether the data saved as successfully inside the appointment table or not. If you see appointment table, the appointment number is 2 and the patient number is 1, doctor number is 101. Whatever we are passing, we are storing, right? So in patient table also we are having the patient related data. So what we will do now, let's go to the service layer. In service layer, let's say patient saved successfully, and after that what we'll do, we'll throw some exception explicitly. Okay, let's say sys out of 10 by 0. Okay, so what it will do, it will throw the arithmetic expression. Okay, in that case the patient will be stored because we are not using any transactionality here, but the appointment will not get stored. Let's check that first, and after that we will resolve this issue. So let's hit the endpoint. Yeah, if you see, we are getting the 500 internal server error, right? So if you go to the console, and in console we are getting the exception, division by 0, arithmetic exception we are getting. And if you see here, the patient saved successfully, but we are not storing the appointment. We got the exception here, right? So let's go to the database and we'll see here. If you see in patient, we have one data, okay, but in appointment there is no data in appointment, right? That means this is not the correct business scenario. Transactionality means either commit or roll back. So what we can do now, we can use @transactional here in service layer. Okay, so let's start now and we'll see whether we are able to store the data in database, or only patient data will store, or it will roll back everything. Let's see that first. Yeah, server started. Let me go to the postman and we'll send. Yeah, exception occurred. So let's go to the console. Yeah, we are getting arithmetic exception and patient saved successfully, it is saying. Let's go to the database and we'll check. If you see, in patient table there is no data, right? In appointment table as well there is no data. That means here the patient saved, but after that the Spring rolled back the transaction because we are using @transactional here, right? Spring is internally doing these things only. So in between that session, whenever we are doing any transaction, suppose inserted data into patient table, then after that at the time of inserted data into appointment table, any exception occur, Spring is doing this try and catch work. Everything Spring is doing. So this is the advantages of using this @Spring transactional. So whatever in JDBC we are writing, those are the boilerplate logic, right? So every developer should write those logic to do the transactionality. That's why Spring has provided the transaction support for that, so that by using that we can avoid those secondary logics. Instead of that, we can concentrate on our business logic.
That's all about this video. Thanks for watching this video. Meet you in the next video with a new concept.